Okay, so what is happening is that, so we try to, the key thing is that for me, because I didn't want us to lose time, and I still stand by that, I still think that the OSP should take his offer. The advantage, that's his offer that he wants to do video conferencing, etc. The real meaning of that, so please, it's not the video conferencing where I'm answering specifically, but the meaning of it. The meaning of it is that he wants to talk whilst he's still in the US, right? Before he comes to Ghana. And I say we should take it because the advantage is that, and there are ways to allow us to take it. You apply to the US government, blah, blah, blah. We have the Mutual Legal Assistance Act. We've referred to it in the previous weeks. The advantage is that if we reach out to him there, communicate, and then we take the two statements from him, that's the caution statement, charge statement, possibly, etc. If it doesn't come after the recovery, then we have the opportunity to now start a trial in absentia. If we contact him, he does all those things, and he doesn't come, then we can start the trial in absentia, meaning that we'll start the trial whilst he's still in the US, whether he wants to come or not. So that is where my pain is, that when he first made those overtures, that offer, the OSP didn't take it. We should have had a plan B. Nothing stopped us from taking a plan B. It's wiser. It's like the Bible. You know the maidens who went to the wedding. The wise ones took what? Extra oil. Then the foolish ones just went with their lanterns like that, with our extra oil.
Preach
so,
on, brother. Preach on.
You see, so we should have taken the plan B because we could have taken those. And so when he refused to come on the June 2nd, we could then have gone on with processes to start the trial in absentia.
Well, but because you here, I think that Samdanko was very clear in his words why the special prosecutor does not think the way you're thinking. Because he says you don't know why they need him in person. That's number one. Two, it is not just the OSP that needs him to investigate. Now, we know that it is the National Intelligence Bureau, IOCO, and then OSP all need Ofori Atta to answer questions.
Simple. Let me answer that.
So really, it's not a position he's in tandem with.
Number one, that same day, we made it clear that, look, the OSP is using state resources. So at every point, we are also holding the OSP accountable. As a lawyer, I also understand the processes. I don't know what they need him for, but at least a little that I know is sufficient to make an informed decision here. In law, you see, when you are going into a trial, the criminal trial, there are some two basic prerequisites you need by our practice to enter the court. Sometimes when you don't even meet those prerequisites, you're able to enter court. Number one, there's what we call the caution statement, right? Caution statement. So lawyer Mam is here. Usually, that's the one that so caution from the word like warning. So the state agency investigating will warn you, will inform you why they want to take a statement from you. And usually it's done after an arrest. And let's be clear, when we say we are arresting somebody, it doesn't mean you take the person, put the person in cell 1 day, 2 days, ad nauseam. No. Arrest simply means that you touch the person, right? Inform him why you want to confine him. That, okay, lawyer man, touch wood, lawyer man, I'm arresting you for the offense of private gain, okay? Using public office, okay? Just paraphrasing. Anything you say will be taken down, blah, 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 right? So we do the caution. Then after those warnings, he will write his response. So that is that exercise we are saying that can be done in the U.S. on our behalf by the U.S. officials. Okay. Or OSP can go there and take that statement. So you see why when he said he wants to do video, we said the meaning of it is that he wants to talk with us in the U.S. So what technically OSP first came out to say is that no, you can't start with video conferencing when you've not done this exercise I've referred to. And I said the meaning is that then go there. After all, OSP went to the UK when it came to the Foster Adam Mahama case. They went to the UK and did that exercise, etc. So in this case, we could have gone. Or if we don't have enough resources to go, we'll ask the US government to help us. And they would have done it for us. So after the caution statement, there's also another statement called charge statement. So this time, you are telling the person that, listen, well, it doesn't matter the answer you gave me in the caution statement. There is also, I'm going ahead to charge you. So you see that we don't charge the person in court. Usually we charge the person in the offices of the law enforcement agency, whether it's police, UYOKO, OSP. So the charging is done in their office. So you then go ahead, well, I'm charging you for this and this and this offense. What's your response? And remember, Ofori Atta is not bound to give OSP any help. Ofori Atta can then just say, no comment. No comment, and that's it, and then sign. So the main thing we should realize is that the burden is on the OSP to prove the case. So even if you need him for further interrogation, please, let's repeat. Further interrogation is not a prerequisite to enter court.
I see.
Ofori Atta doesn't have any obligation to incriminate himself, to give you the information. No. If he feels remorseful and he wants to spill the beans, you are only lucky. So that is why I'm saying that the other things OSP needs him for, I don't know. But these two things I've said, these two statements, when you have them, you can enter court. Please, with the caution statement and the charge statement, you can enter court. And let me even further repeat, there are some occasions that the accused doesn't want to even write the no comment. Please, when the accused says he will not even write the no comment, you can still enter court. Please, let's be clear.
Okay.
There is no part of our constitution, the criminal procedure, that mandate. If he says, I will not write, you can't force him. So are you saying that because the person says, I will not write, then you can never enter court? Is that the law? So even the two statements, the accused can say, I won't write. And I'll show you a practical example we're involved in. When the coup plotters case came, the ACP Agojo and coup, Mark Palm, on one occasion, you see that when the Attorney General saw that they would lose the case if they did the jury trial, then they decided to change the offenses. Because if you're doing the treason felony in the Act 30, you needed to use a jury. When they saw the selection of the jury, etc., from experience, from the way the jurors, you know, let me be very plain. You can hazard a guess. From the names of jurors, etc., and a little of demeanor, you can hazard a guess that these people will not return a conviction, even though they've not heard. Please, I'm saying from experience. Look, human beings, we don't use just only the scientific things we've learned in the books. We also use gut feeling, etc. So from experience, you can see some names, etc., that this name is not likely to convict, etc. So Godfrey Dami rightly guessed it, that he won't get. He's not likely, the word is likely. He was not likely to get a conviction. So he changed from treason felony and now came under Article 3 for high treason. And so under the Constitution, if you're using Article 3, the high treason, you didn't need a jury. You now needed 3 judges. So Godfrey Dami guessed that with 3 judges, his chances of conviction were higher than a jury of 7. You see, because, you know, by then, the story was that, this is a kitchen knife coup, and Ghanaians were hungry and didn't think that's an important case, etc. So that me stopped and then went for high treason. All of that is not the important part, but I'll just give you the background.
Okay.
But my main point is that, so when he changed it and they invited us back to the NIB, okay, previously BNI, our clients refused to write. We refused. We told them we are not writing any statements.
I see.
And then the case was taken to court. Justice Efia Sewa, Asariboche, Amaliboba, and then Justice Stephen Opon, they sat on the case. So Agojo and Co, we told them we are not writing. And you think when we said we are not writing anything, even no comment, we didn't write even no comment. Did the case stall at the NIB? The next day we were in court. It was a Saturday, yes, thanks to the Kwebu number 4 versus Attorney General number 4. We were in court. It was a Friday afternoon because we asked for bail. They wouldn't grant us bail. So we went through the Chief Justice, Eni Yebua, and based on Kwebu number 4, he ordered that, okay, the judge should sit on a Saturday. And so we went to court on a Saturday. Well, of course, we got the bail on paper, but they couldn't come out that day. So my point is that the main point out of the whole story, just one sentence, the accused persons refused to write the caution statement. Charles, we said no comment. I mean, not even no comment. We didn't write. And the case was in court the next day. So the point we are making is that I cannot second guess the OSP, what OSP needs Ofori Atta for. I can't. All I'm saying is that as a practitioner, I also understand the law enough to know that this, even if those two statements, the accused doesn't write them, you can still enter court. So if you need him for some other purposes and he's not coming, you try and meet the two basic ones that usually it's expected that you try to elicit those. Caution statement, charge statement. If he answers those, fine. If he doesn't answer, because you demonstrate to the court the efforts you made to get those statements and he didn't answer, the court will go on. So please, it's not answer to say, do you know what we need him for? No. It's no answer.
I'm re-echoing what...
Yes, and that day...
We were here.
The OSP himself has told him why he very clear. But I'll make that...
Yes, so now let's go to the next point. But this one, we are just explaining the background. So I'm just saying that we should take the plan B whilst it's still there. But also to be clear, this second time the OSP is put him on the wanted list. And that's the substance of Ms. Okanse's question. I'm in support of the OSP declaring him wanted this second time. Remember that the first one, I was not in support because, as I stated, when he was traveling, he informed both the previous and current chiefs of staff. All right, so that's why I didn't support the first time. But this one, I support it. So now, the question, Mr. Okanse, your question was that, has the wife's interview made the case better? And because I said...
now we have some detail that it will take at least 3 months for him to...
for now, yes, that's her case. But based on Ofori Atta's previous conduct, I can't trust him. So I can't use that. I can't believe it, but I'll use it in the analysis. Now, so with what OSP is doing the plan B. The plan B, because the plan A is Ofori Atta's second offer that, well, after 3 months, I'll be strong enough to come. Right? But based on the way he swerved OSP on 2nd June, OSP can't trust him. So the best thing is to initiate steps to extradite him. So you can't fault the OSP for initiating the steps. No, you can't. Because Ofori Atta swerved him on 2nd. Now let's answer a bit of the wife and then show why Ofori Atta's conduct has brought him where he is now. The wife says that, look, as I said, her interview made the case slightly worse because out of her interview, this is something she said. She said before the March 20th and 21st biopsy, which is diagnostic surgery, they had always known, please, with emphasis, let's get this point. They had always known that if the biopsy came out positive, that's to say, if Ofori Atta has cancer, they would need a major surgery, an actual surgery, as a cure of the cancer itself. Let's repeat, please, and it's in the tape. You can play it. So before March 20th and 21st, Mrs. Ofori Atta is saying that they had always known that if the 20th and 21st biopsy turned out to be positive, that's there's cancer, he would now need proper surgery. Let's use Ghanaian English. Proper surgery to take care of the cancer. The biopsy is not. The biopsy, they took tissue to go test. You see, so somebody who always knew that 20th and 21st March was not the actual surgery, why do you hide that from the OSP and rather make it look like 20th and 21st March were going to be the actual surgery for the actual cure? For me, that's where Ofori Atta lost me. Don't misrepresent, don't create an impression that 20th, 21st March were going to be the major surgery. And we are talking about events between February 12th and 18th. Ofori Atta was declared wanted on 12 February. Then the lawyers reached out and they started negotiating. Then on the 18th, OSP announced that it would remove his name. And so it is in the course of those negotiations that Ofori Atta made those statements, of course, through his lawyers, that he would go through surgery on 20th and 21st March. So having said that, when you always knew, the wife said they always knew. Mr. Abdallah, producer, please, can you? Yes.
Displayed that already. Yes.
You've done it already?
Yes. In the slides, as we just showed.
Yeah, then please repeat it. Repeat it so that people say, you always knew before going into March 20th, 21st biopsy. For me, that's where they lost me. So you are suppressing facts. That's even be very charitable. Yes, other than saying misrepresenting facts. You are suppressing facts. You knew some very serious facts, very material, you didn't disclose. Even though I want to say misrepresent, but because we are analyzing on TV, you let me be more objective to say they were suppressing by not disclosing that it is biopsy. You ask the doctors. Doctors have given interviews on this matter. A biopsy is not a major surgery.
Yes.
Why would OSP on 18th, between 12th and 18th June, agree to give you more time for biopsy, which is not the actual surgery? This biopsy was to open him and take tissue. Biopsy, and you say Kisi Ejabin, would give you so much time, and there's so extra generous time, and this extra generous time, they themselves acknowledge it. Ofori Atta's lawyers acknowledged it in a letter that the OSP had been extremely generous.
Yeah.
Why would OSP give you so much time for a biopsy, a simple procedure? Please. So for me, you would see that Ofori Atta, true to his nature, didn't want to cooperate with the OSP. Maybe he knew that OSP would not take the offer of the video conference. That's why he kept throwing that one at the OSP. But when it comes to his substantive conduct, he's not cooperated. 18th, between 12th and 18th February, you tell OSP, I'm going to do surgery on 20th and 21st March. You are making the surgery look very big. Boom, it's a big surgery. And then OSP gives you a lot of time. Then you let that time come and pass. You don't tell OSP anything. Then the next thing you know, May 28th, not even a direct letter to the OSP, but in something Ofori Atta filed in court. It's in that letter that Ofori Atta is now saying no, he cannot come because he has the actual surgery on 13th of June. When you conduct yourself like that, you will lose the law enforcement agency. Yes, you lose everything because your conduct so far is bereft of candor, is bereft of integrity, is bereft of any bona fides. No.
Well, if you look at the 14th May 2025 letter of the Mayo Clinic, signed by one Ahmed Abdelarim, it's a medical doctor in the section of international medicine in Rochester at Mayo Clinic. He indicated in the second paragraph, a surgical intervention has been deemed necessary after the testing and MRI and biopsy procedures in March 2025. Council, so that's just to as it were, buttress the point you were making.
Very good.
And as I indicated in my February letter, so the biopsy was done in March.
Yes. And we are
corroborated that.
Yeah, we are saying that the key point, let's not lose it, is that biopsy was represented as the major surgery. And that's how come OSP gave more time.
But what is a biopsy? Let's put that on the screen. This is the Mayo Clinic's own definition of what a biopsy is. And Council, it puts in context something you said earlier. This is it. The Mayo Clinic's own definition of a biopsy, you find it on their website. A biopsy is a medical procedure where a small tissue sample is taken from the body for examination under a microscope, typically to diagnose a disease, especially cancer. So they did that and then they diagnosed the prostate.
Excellent. I like the way you've repeated. Let it stay there so that viewers will continue to read.
The tissue sample is analyzed by a pathologist to identify any abnormal or cancerous cells.
Thank you. And you know, look, from the way medicine is practiced, etc., and I like the way his wife has been candid, they always knew. Please, the only word we can go, one of the words we should not forget to go away with is that they always knew that March 20th and 21st wasn't going to be the final, but rather after the results of March 20th, 21st, there would be a surgery. So why do you tell OSP, I'm going for a surgery on March 20th, 21st? Simple. You don't add that rider. Because who, from what you said, biopsy, please call the doctors who have granted interviews on this. Who, in its right senses, law enforcement agency, We'll give you several months for a biopsy. Oh, please. March 20th, 21st. And then OSP said, okay, take the whole of April, take the whole of May. Hey, for a biopsy. For a biopsy, take 2.5 months and rather come back on the 2nd of June. No reasonable law enforcement agency will give 2.5 months adjournment in order for somebody to do a biopsy. Hey, then no court would ever conclude any case. Biopsy, please. So that's where Ofori Atta lost the OSP. And so for that one, I'll support Kisei Jabe 120%. That look, don't trust this guy. Do everything by the books. Do everything by the books. And you know, true, of course, they say democracy is wisdom of the crowds. You know, there were people who said it in February when OSP granted the adjournment. Some naysayers said that, look, Massa, you lie bad. Ofori Atta would not come on the 2nd of June. And they've been proven right. I've seen comments on social media where they say Ofori Atta is just, you know, we say in Ghanaian English, deceiving OSP. And true, that's shown that he's just deceived the OSP. So please, they brought this upon themselves. The comment that which wife will advise the husband to go, all of that is not necessary. It's not necessary. When you've conducted yourself in such a manner that law enforcement agency cannot trust you, this is what you get. So all those comments, which husband, which wife would advise a husband to attend upon OSP, etc. No, we don't need that. We don't need that at all. And that's why we don't need that at all. Once she says she always knew, and not she alone, the family, they always knew. That they always knew was what they should have put before the OSP. And probably the results would have been different. If they had made all these disclosures, I would have been supporting them. Like I supported him earlier on. Though, if he comes to Ghana, you know, a lawsuit against him.
I probably think they were believing that the results would be otherwise.
Right.
I probably think, I mean, when she's...
So then they should have disclosed it.
Yeah,
yes,
so
when you are in doubt.
The whole thing was, the communication was not properly managed. You know, communication with the OSP, the legal disclosures were all not handled properly.
Have you been allowed to talk?
Prof.
Have you been asked to talk?
Let him conclude.
It enriches the debate.
Yes.
It enriches the debate.
Yes.
Sometimes when
let him enrich.
you have your things bad issue.
No, but it enriches the debate.
It's a fair point.
Yes, so that's why I say, when you are not sure, just put all the cards on the table. Then that's what, remember, as I said, don't you see the first one? I repeat, remember the first one, when he was traveling, he decided to notify the chiefs of staff. And you see how much, you see Afenyo Maki was on the floor of parliament, and he stood strong on that fact that Ofori Atta didn't flee from this country. He notified the requisite, or let's say the appropriate authorities, because at that time, he wasn't aware of any OSP case against him. But because he knew maybe he would be needed for a thing or two, he decided to notify chiefs of staff.
Okay.
So you see that I have supported him on that one. That's how come the first time Kisei Jabe declared him wanted. I said, no, for me, I don't. Though I need him in Ghana. Remember, a lot of civil society organizations have sued him over the same SML matter. Yes. CDD, Media Foundation for West Africa, Ben Boachis, ASEP, etc. Right? Enyona Mabuchi, etc., private legal practitioner, have all sued him on this SML matter.
And you are a lawyer to one of them?
Yes, a lawyer for all of them.
I see.
But I have to be careful because posterity will judge. I won't say because we need him to come so that we can serve him, etc. Oh, then once OSP is doing extradition, I'll just jump on. No, okay. We have to be fair to the facts because who knows? Maybe tomorrow it will be me, or it will be Lawyer Man, or Dr. Zatu. And I'll represent Zatu and take money. I'll represent you and take money. You know,